state of Australia and the southernmost capital city of Australia, that being the city of Hobart. Directly behind me is the control tower which guides region. Today I will be flying with Qantaslink on an Airbus A220 bound for my hometown of Sydney. Despite this being the first time I had ever flown in or out of Hobart, I did not end up spending a lot of time here due to my previous flight's late arrival. Located in the south of the island state of Tasmania, Hobart is by far the most isolated Australian capital city, with a population of around 250,000 people in approximately 145 square kilometres. In Qantas's safety video, one of the opening words that is said is, "This is my magic place," and for me, Hobart is my magic place, as this is where my family comes from, with my ancestors being one of the original settlers who built the nearby Port Arthur. As stated in my introduction, today I shall be flying with Qantaslink on board an Airbus A220 bound for Sydney. The Qantas check-in desk is located to the right of the building, adjacent to the security checkpoint. There are two different lanes for Qantas, as is typical. There is a priority and business class lane and a normal economy lane. As I hold Qantas Silver status, I am eligible to use the priority lane. Check-in for this afternoon's flight took no time at all. However, one crucial step I failed to do was check my boarding pass, but I will get to that later. Security is but a short walk away from the check-in area. However, unfortunately, Hobart lacks the same equipment that all other domestic airports around Australia have, that being the updated, non-ionizing millimeter wave scanners, which create a 3D image of your body. These are the older and more simple X-ray machines and electronic magnetometers, which are rather outdated. Post-security is a fairly large waiting area, enough for 3 180-seat aircraft at any one time, as well as a few souvenir shops and cafes. Upon arriving at the gate for this afternoon's flight, so did that of my inbound aircraft, which today is an Airbus A220-300, registered as Victor Hotel X-Ray 4 Delta. Construction for this aircraft was completed in September of 2024 in Montreal, Mirabel, Canada, making this aircraft barely 2 months old. Just prior to boarding, I decided to study my boarding pass, and on closer inspection, I quickly realized that my seat had been changed at check-in. Now usually this would not be an issue for me, as this has happened before, but considering that I paid for an extra legroom window seat and I was demoted to a middle seat, I was very salty. So I quickly changed my seat to one at the rear. Boarding commenced on time from Gate 3. Qantaslink's A220s all have the exact same configuration, with 10 recliner business class seats in a 2-2 layout and 127 standard economy class seats in a 2-3 layout. This afternoon I shall be seated in 21 Foxtrot. The economy class seat has 30 inches of pitch and 18 inches of width. There is a fairly standard tray table which folds down and extends. In the seat pocket you'll find a safety card, magazine and a fairly crumpled air sickness bag. Above are individual reading lights, air vents and a flight attendant call button. In between the seats is a universal power outlet. Above the tray table is a device holder suitable for anything up to the size of an iPad. Besides this is 2 USB ports of different shapes.
Today you're flying on a Qantaslink Airbus A220. Here are a few points on how your seatbelt works. Fasten your seatbelt by inserting the clasp into the buckle and tighten by pulling the strap.
And we do thank you for your attention during the safety briefing, and now invite you to sit back and relax and enjoy the flight up to Sydney today. Approximate flight time around about 1 hour and 30 minutes, subject to air traffic control. Thank you.
Soon we commenced our pushback from stand 5 minutes behind our scheduled departure time. We taxied to runway 30 via Foxtrot, Alpha, Delta, and runway 12. Now please enjoy this unedited takeoff. After takeoff, we continued straight out, barely making any course-correcting adjustments, setting up a northerly course for Sydney. Flight time today is 1 hour and 38 minutes, covering a distance of 722 miles or 1,162 kilometers, cruising at 37,000 feet. Spread across Tasmania are these little towns, much like the mainland, including that of Avoca, which sits roughly 2/3 up the eastern Tasmanian coastline. QantasLink offers complimentary Wi-Fi to all classes, which after a quick 15-second advertisement is free. The download speed was fairly good, however, I know nothing about the statistics of Wi-Fi speeds, so use this as you would. The last piece of Tasmanian island that I saw was Cape Portland, around 100 kilometres northeast of Launceston, the second largest city on the island, after of course Hobart. This was then followed by the Inflight service, which was typical for QantasLink, consisting of a salsa and corn chip packet with barbecued corn as well, which is also a great treat on board. I also asked for a glass of wine, which today was a Chardonnay. This was being served whilst flying over Flinders Island, the largest island between Victoria and Tasmania. Shortly after crossing the Tasman Sea, we passed directly over the southeastern coast of Victoria. However, this part of the coastline is void of any real towns, suburbs, or cities. On board the aircraft are 3 bathrooms, 2 for economy at the rear and 1 at the front for business class. Inside is everything typical of not only this aircraft type, but also that of the flight duration and class of travel, with Qantas's signature hand soap being the only amenity present, excluding that of the baby changing station. Just prior to descent, we passed directly to the west of the fairly small but populated town of Cooma in southern New South Wales, famous for Australia's only skiing location, Thredbo. During our initial descent, down below was Lake George, which technically isn't a lake, rather a depression in the ground that fills with water during heavy rainfall, but it also drains and takes many years to do so, which is why it always appears full. Soon we commenced our descent into Sydney. Due to the very large, low-pressure weather system currently sitting over the eastern coast of Australia, there was pretty much nothing visible due to the vast mashed potato clouds, but it did make up for some great visuals, especially whilst cloud surfing. Not only were the clouds expansive, but they were also thick, several thousands of feet to be specific. This thankfully did not last too long, as eventually the aircraft descended below them and I was able to see over the western suburbs of Sydney. Now please enjoy this unedited landing. After landing, we taxied back to Terminal 3 via Bravo 7, Bravo and Bravo 2. We pulled into Gate 5, 7 minutes ahead of our scheduled arrival time. Stepping off the aircraft and into the Terminal 3 building, I thanked the crew and turned my attention away from that of QantasLink, and as usual towards reclaiming my bag at the baggage reclaim facilities on the ground floor. But I was not particularly happy with QantasLink at the time, in fact, rather angry. So how did QantasLink do today? As usual, let's start from the top. Booking on the Qantas website was very simple with easy prompts to follow. QantasLink offers all passengers the opportunity to book extra legroom seats, specifically in rows 4, 5 and 12, which on this relatively short flight costed $35, which at the time I felt was worth it to experience a spectacular view of the engine. What I did not know at the time is that QantasLink has the ability to move any passenger to any seat at any time, regardless of how much you paid or the class of travel. I have since requested a refund, however, at the time of this video's upload, I still have not received my money back. In a future video, I will hopefully be in the seat that I booked today, for Alpha, from Singapore to Darwin, but only time will tell. On board, the service was pretty typical for QantasLink. I generally find the service with QantasLink, outside of the food hours, as I like to call them, are much better than that of Qantas flights, with a much larger snack being given, rather than Qantas's cheese and crackers, which I can't actually eat. Overall, a pretty average experience on QantasLink today, but like I said in the video title, I feel like this was a scam. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to check out the other videos I have on my YouTube channel. And also, I now have a Discord server. Feel free to join. The link is at the top of the description. And don't forget to ring that notification bell if you enjoy my content, and if you would like to see more. I post my videos every Friday at 8 PM Sydney time, and I hope to see you again in the next one. See you later!